And now joining us online from Mexico is Professor Radko Tichavský, one of the world's leading authorities in agricultural holohomeopathy. He created this holohomeopathic method, applying homeopathic principles to farming, founded an institute for sustainable holistic education, and serves as its academic director. Widely published, he lectures internationally and advises agricultural projects worldwide. This presentation will be held in Czech, so please, if needed, use your translation stations. Professor, can you hear us, please? Slyšíte nás, pane profesore? Do we have a connection? Can you hear us?
Ano.
So, okay, so you can start. Můžete začít, pane profesore.
Slyšíte mě?
Ano, teď
Can you hear me? Yes, we can hear you. You can deliver your talk.
Ano, teď je to v pořádku. It's everything okay on our side, so feel free to start, professor.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants of the Congress, allow me to invite you on a journey into a world where science meets nature and tradition meets innovation. Holohomeopathy is not just an alternative to modern architecture. It is a new framework for understanding soil, plants, and the human being itself. In this lecture, I will present not only the principles, but also results from different countries, from Mexico to Italy, Spain, and France. And I will explain why this approach is essential for the future of European and not only European agriculture and human health. Our health does not begin in hospitals, nor in the laboratories of pharmaceutical companies. It begins in the field. Soil is the true foundation from which the health of the entire society arises. When soil is alive, structured, and rich in microbial diversity, it produces crops that contain not only calories but also an informational vital impulse. Conversely, degraded soil is a silent source of the epidemic of chronic diseases because it yields weakened plants prone to disease and poor in bioactive compounds. The method of droplet evaporation crystallization is a bridge between natural philosophy and exact science. The evaporated drop of seeds or plant reveals the internal quality of the system. The patterns formed are not mere aesthetic shapes, but structures carrying profound information. We have shown that extracts from homeopathic fields possess a higher fractal complexity. This means their organization is richer, their life potential greater, and their ability to communicate with the surrounding environment more resilient. In the first example, more resilient against climatic change. In the first example, let me show you
jak to vypadá.
Just a second. Let me adjust it so that you could see all of that. Here we can see crystallization of the evaporated drop. We measured the fractal local distance and so there is a more unified structure. We measured the fractal local distance here and homogeneity of the plant. Seeds, fruits, food, but also milk and wine. Also cognac, you will see today. So this is what it looks like. This is a micro drop It has a fractal local distance 1.7451. So the fractal dimension is between 1 and 2. 2 being the maximum, 1 being the minimum. So seeds of peppers, conventionally grown, reach the value 1.7 approximately, whereas in homeopathic peppers, because if we work out fractality, which is the average of all fractals in this image, so I need to know where the fractality reaches the highest level and where it reaches its minimum. So here it is shown that those mountains, these are maximal levels of fractality. And let's conduct the same measurement of holohomeopathic pepper. And here we can see that its fractality reaches 1.9173, very close to the mathematic maximum. So it does not only mean a larger mathematical complexity, but also a greater metabolism, vitality, organizational capacity, resilience. So here in these pictures, we can see very important information where the fractality lies, its maximum. The maximum is located here, in this point, where you can see that very special crystals are being formed. So this is conventional agriculture, and now let's compare it to homeopathic agriculture, because in consumption of this pepper, that greater capacity also is reflected in a greater vitality, a higher organizational capacity, and important compounds for our nutrition. Here we and here we can see a conventional pepper pattern. We can see it in 3D. Here you can see the maximums and the minimums, and the rest. And if we compare it to the fractality to a pepper grown in holohomeopathic, which has been measured at 1.91. So the difference is not merely numerical. It is also reflected in 3D. Here you can see, much steeper, higher mountains. This method is very important as it is able to convey very important information about the quality of the product. And here we can see a comparison of those two droplets, the conventional one and the ecological one. The difference of fractality between these two types of agricultures was demonstrated via distillated water, where we controlled the conditions, evaporated a drop of distillated water, and the seeds of wheat were not able to create without any organized structure. It's very chaotic structure. There is just very little of crystallization. This hydrolite is not able to get organized. That micro drop of a hydrolite of wheat grown in holohomeopathic reaches the level 1.849 compared to the conventional method, which only has 1.609. So here the levels also differ, as you can see. These are the seeds. This is the equal kind of wheat. Just the method of growing was different. Here it is demonstrated in a 3D, and so on the left you can see it in 2D, and on the right side you can see it on 3D. These are very small heaps which are disorganized. And on the right we can see that ecological agriculture using that holohomeopathic method, the maximum lies here in that upper part of the droplet. And this is also transformed on a human as well. The advantages of polyploid plants have several copies of the DNA and often produce greater fruits compared to diploid plants, and they often have a higher resilience against stress and can have a better nutritional value, better germination, and greater disease resistance. They have a longer germination, and they don't need to be stored in very special conditions. And they are very resistant against temperature changes, which are very common in these climate conditions. And they have a capacity much greater than standard grains. Here we can see polyploid wheat variant, which is not used very often. We can also compare the energy levels, the protein, zinc, E vitamin contain. It contains more zinc, selenium, E vitamin, proteins. It also has a larger concentration of other substances, which leads to its great health benefits. In carbohydrates, the differences can be identified in genetic differences. Camuth has 4 copies of DNA, and hexaploid. The choice between camuth and wheat depends on its nutritional levels. Each of them has different qualities, for example, in baking. For example, industrial needs always make a decision in favor of modern wheat. And camuth, used, for example, in Mesopotamia, ancient state of Mesopotamia, these could be grown, but we don't. It has been often mentioned that seeds has proteins, carbohydrates generate a higher level of self-organization. So here we can already speak about fractality. This can be demonstrated on several levels. For example, the seeds of kamut, which are much larger, and their texture has multiple patterns. They show geometric features. They have fractal architecture of protein networks. They are polymers, and for example, one is spreading them via spray methods. They can reach much higher levels than standard wheat. And also our bodies processes this wheat, meaning kamut, differently. And it increases, for example, the diabetes risk. Now, let me demonstrate the fractal map of old types of wheat, 1.5, compared to the modern wheat, which reaches only about 1.2. It seems to be a small difference, but the frame is from 1 to 2. The interval is from 1 to 2. So that percentage increase is rather large. Here we have Triticum purpedum tyrannicum, which is kamut, and it reaches fractality. Here you can see complex crystallization. It's interesting that if we consume this kind of wheat, fractality of their saliva increases as well, and this is also demonstrated in biodiversity of a microbiota in our bowels. So this must have an impact on our health, can't it? Here we can see it in a 3D modulation. These high mountains look like the giant mountains in the Czech Republic, show the highest fractality, which is located in this area where I'm pointing at.
Proteinová dostupnost a biodostupnost. Fraktální glutenová síť, kamut má delší a méně fragmentované gliadenové řetězce.
Fractal gluten's network, kamut reaches longer and less fragmented gliadin and gluten chains than modern wheat. Protein is digested more slowly and releases amino acids gradually, which leads to better glycemic stability and better usefulness in synthesis of muscles and enzyme proteins. Carbohydrate fractality granule of carbohydrate in kamut have a multi-level surface texture, which means a higher level of amylosis. The consequence is a slower digestion, lower glycemic index, and lower metabolic burden. Modern wheat was selected as smoother with uniform granules and higher rate of amylopectin. They have a higher fractality, which means also a higher variability of metabolic pathways, which leads to a higher synthesis of phenolitic substances and carotenoids. Plants with higher fractal dimension of tissues have a capacity to integrate multiple levels of bioinformation from soil and microbiota. So soft information which is transported into the metabolic system is much higher in kamut. It carries more, such kind of weight is not just a transporter of calories, but also subtle bio information, which is also transformed further to a human body. The main reasons why we can grow this polyploid plant in the Czech Republic, it's very adaptable, it's very suitable in this climatic area. It has much a higher nutrition value. But let's move on to what will happen if we evaporate a drop of the soil. So here we can see fractality of a homeopathically treated soil, which has a level of 1.98, which is very close to the mathematical maximum, which is only an abstract possibility, hardly ever reached. So this is a highly fractally organized soil. Here you can see the 3D image, and in conventionally treated soil, the fractality is at 1.6585, which is much lower. And this great difference, which might seemingly look small, influences how soil absorbs water, or whether it overflows and is not absorbed. And also the richness of microbiota is affected. And here you can see the 3D model. Here we can see a comparison of the two droplets. The first one is holohomeopathic, and the second one is the conventional one. A fractal local difference of the soil refers the way how the soil structure completes the space at a microscopic and macroscopic level, and this includes the structure of pores, distribution of particles and microorganisms in the soil. Because well-structured soil with optimal fractal dimension has a better retention ability. So this agriculture method will be very affected in terms of the quality of food in our lives. We can identify very complex relations between the soil and fruit, because healthier soil with optimal fractal structure supports a much higher growth and plant development, which is also demonstrated in fractal structure of the fruits and in our saliva and our human bodies. Direct influence of the agriculture method on the fruits and is transformed via the changes in fractal structure of the soil and its capacity to support the healthy growth of plants. So here we have made a circle. At the beginning, you can have healthy plants and fruits, healthy and well saturated. Then we can see the heritage of life and complex soil and the growth of the capital of complex soil. Also, wild plants reflect the change of the microbiota in the soil and the health of the population. So here you have a circular relationship when live and complex soil supports health plants. Health plants produce health fruits. Health fruits belong or contribute to healthy and healthy population. If we compare it to the situation in France, where farmers have 3,000 per head as a subsidy for training, but farmer can choose a specific training of their choice. And if they don't use this subsidy, they will not receive the grant. So interestingly, we have been seen by specialists from the state sectors, and they were surprised at how many trainees have attended. The way we conduct it is all right. So this is our activity. We have international courses, Holohomeopathic library, and here we can see some practical examples. This is a pepper grown in Spain, in Murcia. This is a greenhouse where the pepper is grown just via holohomeopathy. 3 hectares of holohomeopathic plants, pepper plants in Spain. Here you can see them growing. The fruits had 300 grams, and this is the harvest. They were not painted. This is a natural color of the fruit, of the pepper. That's what they really look like. And this is the vineyard in France, the French vineyard. Here you can see spiders that did not die because of chemicals. Here you can see what is happening on the field. So they can develop normally. They were not. So here you can see crystallization in a cognac. They look like a flying bird, and on a microscope we can see the quality. We can identify these formations. And here is the 3D illustration. This is like a Gerlach Mount, or the giant mountains, fractality. And another interesting is that the comparison of fractality of red wine, which reaches 1.46 with a minimum of 1.18 and maximum 1.85, and then we invited a gourmet whose saliva was measured in terms of fractality. So here we could see the crystallization of the person's saliva crystallization. This is my saliva after testing French wine. Here you can see that fractality has increased. That the wine connoisseur actually his body was also influenced in terms of fractality. Here we have some more examples from Spain. Here we can see some examples of soya beans without homeopathy and with homeopathy. On the left, without homeopathy, germinization was lower, and on the right we can see a homeopathic field of soya beans after application of holohomeopathic treatments. These are no granules. These are like really large amounts of homeopathic remedies which are applied or sprayed. And this is what the harvest looks like. Homeopathic soya beans in Dijon in France. So this is triticale.
Pane profesore,
Kamut.
je to moc líto, my si přejeme, aby jsme měli mnohem víc času na to, abyste mohl dokončit vaši přednášku tak, jak jste měl naplánovanou. Mohl byste, když tak během minutky dokončit vaši hlavní myšlenku.
Could you conclude your main message? We only have we are already running over time. I apologize. So here is our teacher. You definitely know him. That's Samuel Hahnemann, who is taking a selfie with me. So the conclusion, holohomeopathy is an innovative method in agriculture using crystallization of evaporated drops for analysis of physical and chemical and vital properties of plants and soil. This technique enables the measurements of vitality of plants, quality of fruits, and the influence of various methods of farming production. If you still have a few minutes, we can have a discussion.
Pane profesore,
Professor Tichavský, thank you very much for your lecture, which was really excellent. Unfortunately, we have already run out of time, so accept our greetings from Prague, and I hope to meet you again in another forum. Thank you once again. This is such a great innovation, such a great progress which you represent. Thank you very much.
So thank you again, Professor Tichavský. We appreciate you taking us into the fascinating world of holohomeopathy.